And you posted on Twitter, PBC needs to take the hell out of level. What did you mean by that? Because rumors started to spread around that you may be leaving PBC after that.
I never leave out, so I don't know what you was talking about. I mean, I said take the hell out of level. It was due to, if you was really paying attention, PBC posted something about Keith Thurman. And I said, PBC need to take the L out of level. So people need to start running with shit.
Errol Spence Jr. responds to the take the L out of lover PBC tweet. He lets it be known he will never leave Al, and people need to stop running with BS. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Errol Spence, big day this Saturday, April 16th, AT&T Stadium. That's in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry's World. Errol Spence, presented by Showtime, pay-per-view, and Premier Boxing Champions. Big fight. Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas out of Cuba, who's coming off the best win of his career over Manny Pacquiao. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, kid. I got a lot of videos and content building up this fight, so it's up to you to subscribe, which I'll get to more later, and check out some of that work. Errol Spence seems to be in impeccable shape. I did a video about that yesterday, so you guys can find that on the channel. Now let's talk about Errol Spence Jr. at the media scrum for his media day yesterday. Now, you guys heard the clip at the beginning. The audio is from the media scrum, and Errol Spence Jr. pretty much checks the boxing reporter who is, asking about the PBC is over, L out of lover fiasco. And Errol Spence Jr. basically said, had you been paying attention, you would know what that's about, And I played the clip so I don't have to say it verbatim. You guys can rewind this track and picture me rolling. So he said basically, had you been paying attention, then you would know that PBC posted something about Keith Thurman, and that's what incited me to, put that post. It had nothing to do with me leaving PBC. He said, I'm always going to be with Al. So right then and there, Errol Spence crushed a lot of old media's feelings and deaded it. He said he ain't never leaving Al Heyman. So you see this oftentimes with black fighters where there's a piece of, drama or gossip or speculation. And with black fighters particularly, people just pick up and run with it. And I told you guys this. I told you guys on my previous video that people are like polluting the game with that. Like where it's just like, we can't have just facts on top of facts. The whole boxing game is turning into Mad Libs. If you guys remember, Mad Libs is an old school game where it's a book where in a classroom or a group setting, it's a story written with certain blanks and it tells you put in a noun, put in an adjective, etc. You guys could Google it as well. And you fill those things in with random words, random adjectives, random nouns, proverbs, whatever. And that being said, then you read the story back with all these crazy words like, oh, Johnny was a slimy boy and he ran up the mountain to fetch a pail of Kool-Aid, and then it just sounds like a crazy story. Literally, I told you, the boxing game is turning into that. The boxing game is turning into Mad Libs with all the ad libs. I said it's turning to Mad Libs with a bunch of ad libs. It's like people are ad libbing and not sticking to the script, like the Jay-Z song with no ad libbing, stick to the script, and that's just what it is. When Errol Spence tweeted that, I seen it, and several of you sent me comments and DM me and or asked me to talk about it, and I didn't. If you go to my channel, and I don't delete videos, so you already know that. I've been on here as long as I've been on, and I don't delete nothing. There's no reason. You know why? Because I mean what I say, and I'm there when I say it. So there's really no reason for me to delete anything because I wanted to say that. Like, I'm very cautious and conscious about what comes out. So I don't regret anything. Like, I mean, at worst, you'll get a bad fight prediction from me. I thought another person would win and I was wrong or something like that. But, you know, at issues like this, I really don't get involved in a lot of this stuff when it really is not clear. And that's kind of what it was with Errol Spence Jr. I mean, he said, take the L out of lover, it's over. You know what I mean? And he had PBC's name in there. But he didn't say, like, PBC is over, you know, I'm leaving y'all, F Al Heyman. So I don't even understand why a bunch of you guys sent me comments speculating that. Like, based on what? That's why Errol Spence, this is my perception. If you listen to the audio, he sound perturbed. He sound like annoyed with the whole question. Like, hey, if you have been looking, and he even said at the end, y'all need to stop running with Ish. Like, basically making stuff up. And I think more and more fighters are probably going to get to this point because, again, the game is becoming Mad Libs with the ad libs and, you know, excessive clickbait. And listen, I'm a content creator. I understand how clickbait goes. We all clickbait to a degree, you know what I mean? To make, you know, a spicy title. But my thing is, where do we draw the line when the title's so spicy that it's untrue? You see what I'm saying? Like, if I just say, oh, Errol Spence, it's like the National Enquirer. If I say Errol Spence cheats on his girl and has an alien baby, you know what I mean? And y'all gonna click on it like, oh man, especially if I do a crazy thumbnail, you know, people are gonna click on it, but at what cost? Now when I see Errol Spence, he gonna be like, man, come on, hey, stay around for me. Stop that cat. You know what I mean? And it's like not even on no punk stuff, like, you know, in terms of fear, but it's like what is the intent? Like, what is the point? Like, what is the gain? You know, we get, as YouTube creator, I've been on the platform for a while, so I can tell you the YouTube game. And it's like YouTube or Instagram, I could tell you all the games. I got a successful platform on every platform, you know, outside of Twitch, you know, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., Twitter, you know, I have a following. And like, my thing is, your brand has to precede you. And at what cost? Or at what cost when, like, if you make up stuff about the fighter, it's the internet, you know, people are going to see it or whatever. So that's why I didn't make no video about that, because like for me, it just, what's the basis? He didn't really say nothing, and it wasn't clear who he was talking about, because I've heard him say, take the L out of lover. He said that before, you know, but he didn't say he's leaving Al. And the same goes for Gervonta Davis. There's a lot of Instagram page or whatever. And when Tank Davis said his contract's up, okay, maybe his contract's up after the Rolly fight, but that's all the tweet said. He said, this is why so I'm assuming Mayweather Promotions, wants me to fight this clown Rolly. That's what he said in the tweet, because this is my last fight under contract. And he didn't really say much more. But what's happening is people are taking that and making a sequel. Like, there's one movie. It's like The Game. Remember The Game came out with the Belly 2 and it had nothing to do with Belly Part 1 and it was horrible? You know, I like The Game's music, but Belly 2 was terrible. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. It's like some production company get the rights to the script, call it Belly 2, but it really didn't do justice to the DMX Nas Method Man one. You know what I mean? And people are making a sequel out of a movie. That's a new one. I'm gonna start saying that. People, I said it, I'm gonna say it again. People are making a sequel out of a movie. Like Errol Spence will say, hey, take the L out of lover, man down. And then people make a sequel off of that. Like, I say, oh, and make a whole screenplay for what's next and what's to come and stuff like that. And you don't really see me do that because that's not who I am, you know. And I know a lot of these fighters in general, so it's just weird. Like Tank said, contract's up, and then that turned into he's leaving Mayweather Promotions, he's leaving the PBC platform. Even if he left Floyd, when did he say he's leaving Al Heyman and PBC? You know what I'm saying? Like, only Tank knows his next move, but people start saying he signing with Eddie Hearn and making plans for Tank Davis to sign with Top Rank. And I'm like, what? When did he say any of this? When did Calvin Ford or Coach K or Javante or one of his kids? Like, who said this? You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Errol Spence clarified it. He said he's going to be with Al for life. In the last 30 days, I noticed 50% of the people that consume my content on YouTube for free subscribe. Thank you. The other 50%, I don't know about y'all. Y'all didn't choose to subscribe. Maybe you forgot. Maybe you didn't realize it. Maybe you think you're subscribed and you're not, because that's what happens. Sometimes people see my videos, they think they're subscribed, but they're really not subscribed to the channel. So now here's your reminder, subscribe to the channel. Fight this weekend, watch party this weekend, Spence versus Ugas. Holla at me, and I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.